Welcome back to the channel The Coin Empire. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins that has captured the imagination of collectors all around the world, the 1961 1-cent USA coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that, under extraordinary circumstances, has been rumored to reach an unbelievable value of up to $76 million. And while that number may sound shocking at first, once you understand the rare errors, minting mistakes, and unique possibilities behind this coin, you will begin to see why certain collectors are willing to pay massive fortunes for what looks like a simple copper coin. And as we explore this topic deeper, you will also learn how these errors happen, what signs to look for, and whether you might unknowingly have one of these treasures hiding in your pocket change or coin jar right now. So let's begin by understanding the basics. The 1961 D penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark beneath the date, and millions of these coins were produced, making it very common in circulation. But what transforms a common coin into an ultra-rare and valuable collectible is not its age or its face value, but the presence of unique minting errors that make it one of a kind. And one of the most talked about possibilities for the 1961 D penny is the double die error, which occurs when the coin die is improperly manufactured, causing a noticeable doubling effect on the inscriptions such as the date, the word liberty, or the phrase "I in God we trust," and in rare cases this doubling can be dramatic and highly visible, making the coin extremely desirable among collectors who specialize in error coins. But that's just the beginning, because another major factor that could push the value of a 1961 D penny to extraordinary levels is the possibility of a transitional metal error. During the early 1960s, pennies were still made primarily of copper, but if a coin was accidentally struck on an experimental planchet or a wrong metal composition, such as a bronze alloy with unusual purity or even a planchet intended for another denomination, it could create a one-of-a-kind specimen that collectors would fight to own. And these types of off-metal strikes are incredibly rare and often only discovered years or decades after they were minted, adding to their mystery and allure. And then we have the phenomenon of die cracks and cuds, which occur when the coin die begins to break or deteriorate, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. And while minor die cracks are fairly common, large and dramatic cuds that obscure part of the design can make a coin unique enough to command a significant premium, especially if the error is well defined and visually striking. And another fascinating possibility that collectors look for in the 1961 D penny is a repunched mint mark, where the D mint mark appears doubled or slightly shifted due to multiple impressions during the minting process. And these subtle variations require careful examination under magnification, but once identified, they can significantly increase the coin's value, particularly if the repunching is clear and well documented. And we cannot ignore the impact of condition on a coin's value, because even the rarest error coin will not reach its full potential if it is heavily worn or damaged. But a 1961 D penny in mint state condition, with its original luster intact and minimal signs of handling, combined with a rare error, could easily become a centerpiece in any high-end collection. And in some cases, coins that have been graded at the highest levels by professional grading services have sold for astonishing amounts, especially when they possess a combination of rarity, error, and exceptional preservation. And now let's talk about one of the most exciting and speculative aspects of coin collecting: the idea that there could be undiscovered varieties or errors still out there, waiting to be found. Because not every coin minted has been thoroughly examined, and it is entirely possible that a unique 1961 D penny with a previously unknown error could surface at any time, instantly becoming one of the most valuable coins in existence. And this possibility is what drives collectors to search through rolls of pennies, attend coin shows, and carefully inspect every detail of their coins, hoping to uncover that once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And another factor that contributes to the legendary value of certain coins is their story, because collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history, mystery, and the thrill of owning something truly unique. And when a coin like the 1961 D penny is associated with rumors of extreme value, rare errors, and limited known examples, it creates a sense of excitement and competition that can drive prices to unbelievable heights. And while it is important to approach such claims with a critical mindset, There is no denying that. The world of coin collecting has seen coins sell for millions of dollars due to their rarity and uniqueness, and the 1961 D penny, with its potential for multiple types of errors, remains a prime candidate for such extraordinary valuations. So what should you do if you come across a 1961 D penny? First, take a close look at the coin under good lighting and magnification. Check for any signs of doubling, unusual metal color, off-center strikes, die cracks, or anything that looks out of the ordinary. And if you suspect that you have found something special, consider having the coin evaluated by a professional grading service, as their expertise can help confirm the authenticity and significance of the error. And remember that even small details can make a big difference in the world of numismatics, and sometimes the tiniest flaw can turn an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. And as we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that the 1961 D 1-cent coin is much more than just a piece of spare change. It is a symbol of the hidden value that can exist in the most unexpected places, and whether or not a specific coin truly reaches the legendary $76 million mark, the possibility alone is enough to inspire collectors around the world to keep searching, learning, and exploring the fascinating world of rare coins. So the next time you come across an old penny, don't just overlook it, take a closer look, because you never know, you might be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. And that is what makes coin collecting so exciting and rewarding: the thrill of discovery, the beauty of history, and the chance to turn a simple coin into an extraordinary story that could change your life forever. Next, 1973 1-cent coin. Today we are uncovering one of the most unbelievable and exciting stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that turns an ordinary-looking 1973 1-cent USA coin into a potential treasure worth up to $70 million. And if you think that sounds impossible, just wait until you understand the rare errors, hidden mistakes, and incredible circumstances that can transform a simple penny into one of the most valuable coins ever imagined, because in the world of numismatics the smallest detail can make the biggest difference, and the 1973 Lincoln cent is a perfect example of how something so common can become extraordinarily rare under the right conditions. Now, the 1973 penny was produced in massive quantities by the United States Mint, with millions upon millions of coins entering circulation across the country, and because of this high volume, most people assume that these coins are only worth their face value. But what many don't realize is that within these millions there exists a tiny number of coins that were struck with unusual errors and mistakes that make them stand out from the rest, and it is these rare anomalies that collectors are constantly searching for, because they can be worth life-changing amounts of money. One of the most famous and valuable types of errors that can occur on a 1973 penny is the double die error, which happens during the process of creating the coin die when the design is accidentally impressed more than once at slightly different angles. This results in visible doubling on the coin, especially in the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "in God we trust," and when this doubling is strong and clear, it creates a dramatic visual effect that collectors highly prize, because it is both rare and easy to identify, making it one of the most sought-after features in error coins. But double dies are just the beginning, because the 1973 penny can also exhibit off-center strikes, which occur when the coin blank is not properly aligned with the die during striking, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing and a blank area is left visible if the date remains intact and the off-center strike is significant. This can greatly increase the coin's value, especially if the coin is in excellent condition. Another fascinating type of error is the clipped planchet, which happens before the coin is even struck, when the metal sheet used to create coin blanks is improperly cut, leaving a portion of the coin missing. This creates a distinctive curved or straight edge that is immediately noticeable and highly collectible, especially when combined with other errors or when found on a coin from a year like 1973 that already has a large collector base. Then there are die cracks and cuts, which form when the die used to strike coins begins to wear down or crack over time. These imperfections are transferred onto the coins, creating raised lines or blobs of metal that can range from subtle to extremely dramatic, and when these features are large and located in prominent areas of the coin, they can significantly boost its value, because they represent a unique moment in the life of the die, and no two coins will have the exact same pattern of cracks, making each one a one-of-a-kind collectible. In some cases, a 1973 penny may also be struck on the wrong planchet, which is one of the rarest and most valuable types of errors imaginable. For example, if a penny is accidentally struck on a dime planchet, or even a foreign coin blanket will have a different size, weight, and composition than a normal penny, and this kind of mistake is incredibly rare because it requires a breakdown in multiple stages of the minting process, and when such a coin is discovered it can command astonishing prices at auction, sometimes reaching into the millions depending on its condition and uniqueness. Another possibility that adds to the mystique of the 1973 penny is the existence of transitional or experimental planchets. Although the official composition of pennies at the time was primarily copper, there have been instances in other years where leftover or test planchets were accidentally used, resulting in coins with unusual metal compositions. If a 1973 penny were discovered with a unique metal composition that differs from the standard, it could become one of the most valuable coins ever found, especially if it is verified by experts and graded at a high level. Speaking of grading, the condition of a coin plays a crucial role in determining its value. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with the highest grades reserved for coins that show no signs of wear and retain their original luster. A 1973 penny in mint state condition, especially one graded MS67 or higher, is extremely rare because most coins from that era were used in everyday transactions and have accumulated wear over time, and when you combine a high grade with a rare era, the result can be a coin that is worth an extraordinary amount of money because collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that are both rare and well preserved. Another important factor that can influence the value of a 1973 penny is its provenance, or history. If a coin has a documented story, such as being part of a famous collection or discovered in an unusual way, it can add to its appeal and increase its value because collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying a piece of history, and the story that comes with it can make it even more desirable. Auctions also play a significant role in determining the value of rare coins. When a unique and highly sought-after coin is put up for auction, it can attract attention from collectors around the world, and if multiple bidders are determined to own it, the price can quickly escalate far beyond initial estimates, sometimes reaching levels that seem unbelievable but are justified by the rarity and desirability of the coin. And this is how a 1973 penny with the right combination of eras, condition, and history could potentially reach a value of $70 million. It is not just about the metal or the face value, but about the uniqueness and the story behind the coin. So what should you look for if you want to find one of these valuable 1973 pennies? Start by examining the coin closely using a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Pay attention to the date and lettering for signs of doubling. Check the edges and overall shape of the coin for any signs of off-center strikes or clipping. Look for unusual textures or raised lines that could indicate die cracks or cuds, and if the coin looks different in color or weight compared to other pennies, it could be a sign of a wrong planchet or unusual composition. And if you believe you have found something special, the next step is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service, because this will confirm its authenticity and provide an official grade that can help determine its value. And remember, it is very important not to clean your coin, because cleaning can damage the surface and reduce its value significantly, even if it appears to improve its appearance. Collectors prefer coins in their original state with all their natural toning and patina intact because it preserves the history and authenticity of the coin. As we continue exploring the possibilities surrounding the 1973 1-cent coin, it becomes clear that the combination of human error, mechanical imperfection, and historical context creates a perfect environment for rare and valuable coins to emerge. Every stage of the minting process, from the preparation of the metal planchets to the engraving of the dies to the striking of the coins, presents an opportunity for something to go wrong, and while most errors are caught and corrected, a few slip through the cracks and enter circulation, where they remain hidden for years or even decades, waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a bit of curiosity. And this is what makes coin collecting so exciting, because the next valuable coin could be hiding in a jar of old change, a forgotten drawer, or even in your pocket right now. The thrill of the hunt, combined with the potential for incredible rewards, keeps collectors searching and learning and sharing their discoveries with others, and the 1973 penny serves as a powerful reminder that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value if you know what to look for and take the time to explore the details. And as you go through your coins, remember that each one has a story, and some of those stories are worth millions. So keep your eyes open, stay curious, and never underestimate the value of a single penny, because it might just change your life forever. Last 1996 1-cent coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and fascinating coin discoveries that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters around the world, the 1996 1-cent USA coin that is rumored to be worth an astonishing $68 million. And while at first glance this might sound unbelievable, or even impossible, the truth is that in the world of rare coins, value is driven not by face value but by rarity, condition, historical significance, and most importantly, minting. Errors and mistakes that transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collectible, and today we are going to explore exactly how a simple 1996 penny could reach such an incredible valuation by uncovering the hidden factors that make it so special, and why collectors are willing to pay fortunes for coins that most people would overlook without a second thought. Now, the 1996 Lincoln penny was minted in massive numbers by the United States Mint, with billions of coins produced to meet the demands of everyday commerce, and because of this sheer volume, the vast majority of 1996 pennies are only worth their face value or slightly more in uncirculated condition. However, within these billions of coins there exist extremely rare anomalies, coins that were struck under unusual circumstances or affected by errors during the minting process, and it is these rare pieces that have the potential to command life-changing amounts of money. One of the most important and valuable types of errors that can occur on a 1996 penny is the double die error, which originates during the creation of the coin die itself, when the design is accidentally impressed onto the die more than once at slightly different angles, resulting in visible doubling on the finished coin. This doubling is often most noticeable in the date, the inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust, and sometimes even in the details of Abraham Lincoln's portrait, and when this doubling is strong and clearly defined, it becomes highly desirable to collectors because it is both visually striking and relatively easy to authenticate, making it one of the most sought-after error types in modern coinage. But the story does not end there, because there are many other types of errors that can elevate the value of a 1996 penny to extraordinary levels. Another significant category is the off-center strike, which occurs when the coin blank, known as a planchet, is not properly aligned within the coining press when it is struck by the dies. This results in a coin where part of the design is missing and replaced by a blank crescent-shaped area, and the degree of the off-center strike can vary from minor to extreme, with the most valuable examples being those where a large portion of the design is missing while the date remains visible, because this combination of dramatic appearance and identifiable year makes the coin both unique and collectible. In addition to off-center strikes, collectors are also highly interested in planchet errors which occur before the coin is even struck. These include clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a cutting error in the metal sheet used to create the blanks, and wrong planchet errors, where the coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, or even a foreign coin. Such errors are incredibly rare because they require a breakdown in the mint's quality control processes, and when they do occur, they produce coins that are instantly recognizable as something unusual and valuable. For example, a 1996 penny struck on a dime planchet would be smaller, thinner, and composed of a different metal, making it a standout piece that could fetch enormous sums at auction, especially if it is in excellent condition. Another fascinating possibility that could contribute to the immense value of a 1996 penny is the presence of transitional or experimental compositions. Although by 1996 pennies were primarily made of a zinc core with a thin copper plating, any deviation from this standard composition could indicate the use of leftover planchets from earlier or experimental batches, and such anomalies are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors because they represent a unique moment in the history of coin production. If a 1996 penny were discovered with an unusual metal composition that differs from the standard, it could become one of the most valuable coins ever found, particularly if it is authenticated and graded by a reputable coin grading service. Speaking of grading, the condition of a coin is one of the most critical factors in determining its value. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with the highest grades reserved for coins that show no signs of wear and retain their original luster. A 1996 penny in mint state condition, especially one graded MS67 or higher, is extremely rare because even though the coin is relatively modern, most examples have been circulated and show signs of wear over time, and when you combine a high grade with a rare error. The result is a coin that is both scarce and visually appealing, making it highly desirable to collectors and investors alike. Another type of error that can add significant value to a 1996 penny is the presence of die cracks and cuts, which occur when the die used to strike the coins develops cracks or breaks due to repeated use. These imperfections are transferred onto the coins as raised lines or blobs of metal, and while minor die cracks are relatively common, large and dramatic cuts that affect prominent areas of the coin are much rarer and more valuable because they create a unique appearance that distinguishes the coin from all others and tells a story about the wear and tear experienced by the minting equipment over time. In addition to these errors, there are also more subtle varieties that can increase the value of a 1996 penny, such as repunched mint marks or slight variations in the alignment of the design elements. Although these differences may be difficult to detect without magnification, they are of great interest to serious collectors who specialize in identifying and cataloging even the smallest variations in coinage, and in some cases a seemingly minor detail can be the key to unlocking a coin's true value. Another intriguing possibility is the existence of proof coins or special mint strike coins entering circulation by mistake. Proof coins are typically produced with polished dies and planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish and sharp detailed design, and they are not intended for general circulation. So if a 1996 proof penny were accidentally released into circulation and later discovered, it could be worth a substantial amount of money, especially if it retains its original condition and has not been damaged by handling or wear. Now, when we talk about a 1996 penny reaching a value of $68 million, we are talking about a hypothetical scenario where multiple rare factors come together in a single coin. Imagine a coin that exhibits a strong double die error combined with an off-center strike struck on a wrong planchet and preserved in near-perfect mint state condition. Such a coin would be considered a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, something that collectors might never see again, and when such a coin appears at auction, it can create intense competition among buyers, driving the price to extraordinary levels, because in the world of rare coins, value is not fixed, it is determined by what collectors are willing to pay, and when rarity, demand, and uniqueness align, the sky is truly the limit. So what should you do if you come across a 1996 penny that looks unusual? The first step is to examine it carefully using a magnifying glass or a coin loop. Look for signs of doubling in the lettering and date. Check whether the design is properly centered. Inspect the edges for any signs of clipping and compare the color and weight of the coin to other pennies to see if there are any noticeable differences. If you suspect that you have found an error coin, the next step is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service, because this will confirm its authenticity and provide an official assessment of its condition, which is essential for determining its market value. And it is very important to avoid cleaning the coin, because cleaning can damage the surface and significantly reduce its value, even if it appears to improve its appearance. Collectors prefer coins in their original state with all their natural toning and characteristics intact, because this preserves the coin's history and authenticity. As we continue to explore the incredible story of the 1996 1-cent coin, it becomes clear that the combination of human error, mechanical imperfection, and historical context creates endless possibilities for rare and valuable coins to emerge. Every step of the minting process, from the preparation of the metal blanks to the engraving of the dies to the final striking of the coins, presents an opportunity for something to go wrong. And while most errors are caught and corrected, a few slip through and enter circulation, where they remain hidden for years, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. And this is what makes coin collecting such an exciting and rewarding hobby, because the next great discovery could be sitting in a jar of spare change, a forgotten drawer, or even in your pocket right now. The idea that a simple penny could be worth millions inspires people to look more closely at the coins they encounter, and to learn more about the fascinating world of numismatics, where history, art, and economics come together in the form of small metal objects that carry stories far beyond their size. And as you continue your journey into coin collecting, remember that every coin has potential, and sometimes that potential is far greater than anyone could imagine. So keep searching, keep learning, and stay curious, because you never know when you might come across a 1996 penny.